Hello friends, this is Chandrakant from Akulmac Technologies. Welcome to Top Rise. And without further ado, let me welcome my friend, my mentor from UK, Mr. Neville Gant. Neville, how's the morning today?
Good morning, CK. Good morning, everybody. The morning's a little overcast here. We've come through some warm weather recently, and it's got a little chilly, but that's good news because we Brits can't handle the heat. We haven't got air conditioning, and these central air conditioning era and fans in the ceiling and goodness knows what else. We're not really accustomed to it. But I tell you what we are accustomed to, and that's business resilience, because it's all about business resilience these days. But I've heard a few murmurings from India over the last 48 hours that a few apps are going to be deleted sort of overnight. What's going on?
Yes, Neville, it's not only 48 hours, it's like less than 24 hours. So, Indian government has announced 59 apps to be banned, and these are
Wow.
all Chinese apps. So, a cumulative subscriber base for all of these are over 2 to 2.5 billion subscribers in India. TikTok is one of them, which is a major one. And then there are UC browsers, there are UC News, and there are a lot of Chinese news agency applications, a lot of others. 59 apps are being banned now as of last evening.
Wow, I mean that's got huge implications in the customer service type of arena. I mean, people love TikTok over here, the silly little dances that go on that make people's day. Um, Quite where the value is in TikTok, I never really know, but my children enjoy playing with playing with the app. Um, but let's look from as I say, business continuity side is where it came from me because just like these online programs like we're using here. I mean, those are at risk. And if you put your business plan around using these digital programs, whether it's apps or an online Zoom type meeting, and you put all your eggs in one basket, and that basket is taken away through no fault of your own, where are you going to go? How resilient are you? Um, is your business now defunct overnight? I mean, is anyone talking about that in the arena? I mean, you say it's 24 hours, so it's come a bit of a shock to some people, I imagine.
Yes, people are getting into all sorts of debates and they're talking about these aspects as well, but not in too much of a detail because what happened was the cheap mobiles were preloaded with these apps. So a lot of people who are at the lower segment of the society were the consumer for TikTok primarily, but most serious application is Zoom, and I'm sure a lot of businesses are dependent on Zoom. And what I heard in the news yesterday that Zoom is also on the cards. The government is reviewing because Zoom is an American company, but they are sort of evaluating. There is a significant Chinese ownership in the Zoom company in San Francisco. So I think that would be a big impact if Zoom is also banned.
Well, I say, but I don't really want to get into politics here, but let's talk about the business side because now we need to give some business owners some serious advice because the thing is, this is out of your control. So don't even think that you can control it. And the first thing you need to be doing is not be panicking. So you're either going to be in denial and say it's not going to happen, or you're going to be panicking around, how do we get around this? What have I got to do? Can I get Zoom from a different arena? Do I have to go through Zoom in India, etc., etc.? Um, that's panic mode. You need to look at where you are and look at the opportunities. Look at the alternatives. There are alternatives in this arena. We've been using Skype for years, so maybe that is an alternative. You may have said, well, Zoom's far better. It's got far many features, far many benefits. But the point is, it may not be there tomorrow. So now you need to make some contingency plans. There's no guarantee that it's going to go. So the thing is, don't be in denial that it's going to stay. Don't be in panic mode that you now need to, run around like a headless chicken. Just take a deep breath and say, okay, what can we do if? What will we do when? And now go and see other things that are out there, because there are lots of other programs, just like Zoom, that perhaps haven't got the accolades that Zoom have. And now's the time to just go online and just lock into them. WebEx has been around for years. I'm not suggesting go to WebEx, but look at what WebEx is. Look at WebEx competitors. Look at Zoom competitors. Because Google is a wonderful place. All you got to do is Google it and find out what other people are using. And believe you me, it may not be on the first page of Google. It may be on the second, third, fourth, or 10th. It may be you can ask one of your colleagues, what do they do? What package are they using? It may be that if they're using Zoom as well, you can join forces and go and investigate other packages together so that you can come up with a better solution to what you've got. But remember, it's still here. Nothing has happened. There's been a lot of music in the newspapers. I call it music these days because I don't like calling it noise, because when it's noise, it tends to irritate. We forget that in the media, some of it is good news. So it shouldn't be irritating. So I like to refer to it as music. But each to his own. Maybe if you like that, you can start using the word. But what do you think? I mean, we're using Zoom here. I know you're not in panic mode because you've already been investigating other opportunities.
Yes, Neville. Fortunately, we were never dependent only on Zoom. We had invested in G Suite, and we have 5 licenses of Hangout, which are absolutely bundled for our use. So we have a backup plan already. So we are not panicking. The only difference between Zoom and Hangout is that the Zoom has a little bit more feature, but we have to now do a little bit R&D to use Hangout just in case if Zoom is not available. So our business will not get impacted. So we already have a backup plan. But as you said rightly, there are other apps. Some people may be using the browser, some people may be using apps for scanning documents, signing, etc. So there's like 60 apps which are Chinese origin have been banned by India. So I think while we have backup plan for Zoom and video conferencing, we have to still find out what are the alternatives for other apps.
Yeah, I think this is business continuity at the end of the day. So what's your business resilience? And going back to where we started today was, if you put all of your eggs in one basket and someone doesn't just take the eggs away, they take the basket away, then you've got a big problem. But don't panic. I mean, that's the message. Don't panic. There are alternatives out there, but you won't find them if you're panicking. You will make bad decisions if you're panicking. Equally, if you're in denial, then if something then happens, you're not prepared. And that might push you even further in denial. And for weeks, you could be without a business. So just be smart now. This is the best advice we can give. You know what might happen. Have a contingency plan. And I'm not just talking about these apps that are going to be taken away from you. I'm talking about the rest of your business. Do you have business continuity options wherever you are? Do you have backups in your IT systems? If you're all of a sudden there's a crash at your website that you don't own the software or the hardware, but you've got a service provider that's providing it, have you got a copy? Now, I know the contract will say that it's their responsibility to put it back, but let's face it, this is your business, it's not theirs. Keeping a copy of your current website so that you can immediately upload it is not a huge cost. You can keep it on 1 or 2 or 3 backup files, And remember, don't store all your backups in the same cupboard. What happens if that cupboard gets flooded? All of your backups have gone. And we say this not to make fun of it, but believe you me, people do that. They say, oh, I've got backups. And you find that they're in the basement and the basement has been flooded and they've never checked it. And then the backups don't work. Now, just think that this is business continuity. This is your business. Yes, you've contracted out accountability and responsibility, but fundamentally, your business will suffer if you don't take simple actions. I take a backup all the time, you know, and it's only because I made a very big mistake once and I didn't have a backup. And boy, recovering a week's work from scratch with no backup is not a very pleasant sight. You would not like to have met me in those days. But once you've learned the lesson, hopefully you only learned the lesson once. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
Yeah, so I was just making a point that while we make our BCP plans, but I also feel that taken out of this application, I think this is going to create a vacuum for some days. Well, people will start searching for the alternative, but I think the alternatives now find place to fill in those vacuums. So I think the human ingenuity is very, very good, and alternatives will automatically emerge, seeing the opportunity which is available. So I don't think anybody needs to panic, but they have to always look at the alternatives.
Absolutely. And it's not, as I say, it's not just about these apps. It's about look at the alternatives in your business. You know, it might actually give you some idea of where you can create a new customer profile. Because once you have this business continuity process that's going through your mind on a regular basis, because like anything else, if you do something regularly and you do it well, it becomes a habit. And that's really good in the fact that it's good habit forming. So you will continually be aware and think about things on a regular basis. There's no harm in that. You know, you're not going to spend the whole day thinking about this. You might spend a couple of hours today because it's spiked. But that means a couple of hours today, you know, maybe an hour and a half tomorrow, maybe an hour, you know, on Friday, and it wanes away because you're making decisions. And once you've made the decision, park it and off you go. But remember, never put all your eggs in one basket. Always have a contingency plan. That's the message for today.
It's a very good message, considering the hot news is that the India bans 60 Chinese applications. So I think it's very apt. So Naval, pleasure talking to you today. Tomorrow is Sortie Wednesday, and viewers should watch out for the Sortie Wednesday, where we will talk about presentation skills while making a video. So do tune in, and we will catch up with you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.